Hey, it's Ritchie Plunkett here from the PapadumGeek, and today we're upgrading my S340 Elite mid-tower streaming machine to the NR200 Mini ITX case right here by Cooler Master. Now, before this right here was a streaming machine, it was actually a computer that me and my wife built together so we could play games at home. I actually wrote a little small article about it on the whole build process. If you want to check it out, you can take a look. I'll put a link down below if you're interested in that. Now, since then, I've sort of been using it at work to stream events. That's what I do, and it's been a bit of a pain to move around. And thanks to the guys over at Intel, they saw that I was looking at upgrading this rig and they wanted to help me out. Now, I don't want to completely build a whole new PC, but I wanted to use whatever I can from my old PC and try to make it work with the NR200. Now, this machine had sort of been collecting dust since we've stopped running events, obviously due to COVID, and it needed a bit of an upgrade. So I was running an i5, and it did the job. But Intel was kind enough to send their 10th gen i9, more than powerful enough to run streaming events, do a little bit of post-production, and maybe a bit of gaming as well. Now, this is going to make a huge difference because from what I need, there are some benefits into using a 10th gen processor, especially with a 500 series motherboard. Now, obviously, we're going to need a new motherboard, so we have the ROG Z590i by ASUS. Now, with this board and processor, we'll be able to overclock it easily, and who's not going to love that? Integrated USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 and Thunderbolt 4, which means a lot faster transfers, which is always great as well. Now, something that I feel like you need to have in a stream machine is Wi-Fi. I now say that is because with the 10th gen processor and these 500 series boards comes Wi-Fi 6E. Basically, faster speeds, lower latency, better security. Now, I always have it hardwired in because, you got to have that happen, when you're running a live show, but you got to have a backup as well. And it's really great to have built-in Wi-Fi just in case if something goes wrong, we can switch over to Wi-Fi and great, we lose maybe a second or two off the live stream. And just by having Wi-Fi, it makes this machine even more portable. Now, we have a few options also for 2 M2 drives with heatsinks and 4 standard SATA slots. Also, the support of Intel Optane. Now, Richie, what does that even mean? Now, Optane memory works differently. It's sort of like long-term memory, and it remembers your most frequently accessed files, and it gets better over time because it starts to understand the patterns that you use and certain programs or applications. Since we're reusing a lot of parts from this old build here, we're going to use our old SSD, which is going to be fine for this build, but it knows that we can upgrade it later down the track. Okay, here comes the fun part now. Let's take apart our old machine and put the stuff to a side. And like I said, we're going to use as many parts as we can from this old build. And the only thing that I sort of identified is a power supply and some new thermal paste. So I'm going to go pop into the shops and get that, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I went out, got a bit distracted, and I'm back to film this video just before the sun goes down. As you can see, I had to turn a light on just because it's getting dark. So I went, got some thermal paste, only $10, just get whatever. I just happened to get a Cooler Master one. And then I wanted a fan, so I ended up getting 3 fans just because, RGB, it was only $55. What the hell? And also Cooler Master, very on brand. So, I didn't need it. I should have gotten something else, but what the hell. And then a little power supply here to SFX power supply. It's nothing crazy. It's probably one of the cheaper ones out there. It cost me about $150 here in Australia. It can get a lot more expensive, but I'm only using a 1060, so this should be fine. And from what we're doing, though, depending on your build, go based on that. So that's fine. I think that's going to be more than powerful enough. So let's get building. Oh man, what time is it? It's like 11 o'clock. It's nearly midnight. I spent a good hour trying to get this water pump to get in there. Now, I don't know if you know, I think it's got the H1 Corsair. I don't even know. But it says it's compatible, and I made sure to check that before, making sure what parts I need extra and whatnot. And it does fit in there, but very forcefully, just shoving it, moving. The water pipes themselves, or the water pump itself, is quite thick, and it's not really flexible. Is that the right term? So that was a headache just trying to make it work, and I actually had to take out one of my hard drives. Like I only had this hard drive in there, just because if we were doing recordings, through OBS and stuff for streaming, I could just record straight to that hard drive. Not really a biggie. I can have an external hard drive. That's no worry. But I had to remove that because the only place that you can have a hard drive is either on the bottom, or you can have it sort of mounted on the power supply. Now, I had it mounted there at first, but the water pump and the fans from the water pump is right up against it. And I just feel like, I could make it work, but it would be really, sort of inefficient, because it's just not really getting any airflow or anything from there. It's just butted up against that hard drive. So I removed it. Don't really need it, because I was trying to make it work with whatever, stuff I had from my old computer. Now, I had 2 SSDs in there, which I think later down the track I'm going to upgrade to M.2 drives, just because it's going to make it a lot more cleaner, less cables inside the case, because it is pretty messy. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun. All right, it's been 2 days now. The rig is going really well. I'm actually really happy with it. I was going to finish the video right there because I was a bit frustrated with the whole process of the water pump, and it was just really frustrating. As you could see, there was like some parts that were like left out of that time lapse, like putting in the fans and everything like that, because it was such a gnarly process, and it's mainly due to the Corsair water pump not being flexible enough. Now, it does work, it does fit in there, but you have to sort of move everything around once you sort of get it fitted on there, for it to flow nicely. But it does fit. It is compatible. It's just a bit annoying. Now, I have it actually sort of apart now because I'm doing a bit of bench testing just to check out performance. Now, we've got a 10th gen i9 processor with paired with a 500 series motherboard, and we're actually getting a vast improvement in performance compared to my old motherboard and processor. I mean, it's a huge upgrade for me, and it's going to be a huge upgrade in performance for events that we run or are going to run with this rig. So to do with live streaming, post-production, it's something that we can run all at once, and that's something that I found in my day-to-day job, that when I do live streaming is you need to have a powerful machine to live stream, but also you want to be recording as well at a high bit rate, so you need to have that little bit of grunt in there. Now, the next thing that I really want to sort of improve with this rig is the GPU. Now, the GPU, a 1060, it's still fine. Like, it works really well. I can play games on it when I want to, and it's able to work through a lot of the things that I need it to do. Now, I think a 2080 would be nice if we can get our hands on. I mean, a 3070 would be even better, but I think that's personally a bit overkill for it. But maybe for my main rig, because my main rig I'm running a 1070, again, that's working fine. It was pretty much a carbon copy of this live streaming rig. So it's going to be really interesting to see how and different ways we can improve it, as well as modify it to make it even more efficient. Speaking about the live streaming machine, I really want to continue making a couple more videos based around live streaming. I mean, that's something that I do in my everyday job, and I want to sort of share my experiences and ways that how I use this machine as well, and how you can sort of create something similar or work with what you have also. Like, I ran a 3-day festival from this room during COVID, and using free software and making it work, we were able to deliver a great experience for the audience, and that's something that I want to sort of share with you, and make a sort of a short video series on things that you can do and ways to get around things. And again, there's heaps of resources out there as well, because these are some of the things that people are going to have to do or are doing to have like hybrid events and all these things. So that's something that I'm interested in, and I want to sort of share my thoughts with you, and hopefully it might help one or two of you. And yeah, just put it out there, make some really great tutorials, which I used to do and really love doing as well. Now I just want to say thanks to you guys as well for sticking through this entire video. I know it's a bit long, and I know I say that for pretty much every video now, but thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions regarding about parts or anything. I'll hopefully address it in in another video if it's a question about live streaming or anything. Yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up as well. It does help this channel give it a little bit of a boost since we've been in a little bit of a lull. So it tells YouTube that we're doing something right here. And yeah, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.